Hello, this is Peter4790 Cyrus as I'm known on PSN and Xbox Live. Welcome to my review of Atelier Totori. When this game was announced for our North American release, I was pretty excited. Mostly because I really enjoy Atelier Rorona, as that game was a pretty unique experience for me. I love both the characters and its lighthearted story in Atelier Rorona. Also enjoyed its synthesis system it had. Though that game had some glaring issues, such as the graphical style of the game and the combat system, Atelier Rorona was a very unique experience for me in this generation of RPGs when they tried to go for the typical save the world plot and political power struggle plot. And Atelier Totori looks to improve what I love about Atelier Rorona and improve on the issues I had. After an extensive time of playing for Atelier Totori, I thought I would give my thoughts on it. Without further delay, let's begin the review! Atelier Totori is an RPG / console style RPG that was created by Gust and published by Nice of America. Visually, the game looks good. The graphics department uses cel-shaded graphics in order to closely match the concept art of this game that it tries to display. Graphically, the game isn't pulling anything big. Atelier Totori relies on its art style more than graphical prowess, but even so, the game looks good still, and not overly bad, since it's more of a game design decision than just technical issues. In comparing the graphics of Atelier Rorona, it's a magic graphic overhaul and looks great. The environments are also good, ranging from the desert to cool forest. The environments are varied enough that you won't be thinking that you're going through the same area again, but still visually pleasing. And the environments overall are a bit bigger than in Atelier Rorona. Like its predecessor, Atelier Totori overall plot is very different from other RPGs out. There's no rescuing the princess plot, even though the protagonist is female, you should know what I mean by that. No ultimate evil defeat, the word is not knee saving this time. The overall plot of Atelier Totori is Totori wants to become an adventurer, go look for a mother, who's a renowned adventurer, who's gone missing for several years. Yes, that's it. There's no plot twist, no evil antagonist, and no psycho wants to destroy the world just for the fun of it. Though others might find the plot too simple, especially for an RPG, I personally found it very refreshing in a generation where RPG plots are primarily saving the world / political power plots. Though it's the character interaction in Atelier Totori that you'd be more interested in than the overall plot. Just like its predecessor, Atelier Totori relies more on the character interaction than the overall plot for players to be interested. The character interactions are pretty good, and they're pretty funny at times as well. They do follow the stereotype usually found in anime, but not to an extent that you'll hate them for it. The soundtrack used in this game is great. Like the previous game, Atelier Totori's soundtrack has a very soothing music that matches the lightheartedness of this game. Even the battle themes can be quite catchy. Though there is one glaring problem to the whole presentation of Atelier Totori. Though, before I go into that, I have to say that English voice acting is pretty good. There is a Japanese language setting if you want to Japanese dub of Atelier Totori, but anyway, back to the problem. The problem is that the presentation of this game will only cater to the fans of the series. Atelier Totori presentation alone won't win any new fans over. Though that's not really a bad thing. It just means that Gus really knows its audience well and just trying to cater to those who likes it. I have to give them props for that. Overall, Atelier Totori presentation is very niche. For its fans, it's great. But for everyday gamers, the presentation won't be drawing in much. The first thing I go into Atelier Totori gameplay is how it's structured. Atelier Totori has a time system, which means you have to complete certain objectives before certain dates. Doing certain actions such as synthesizing materials, material gathering, battles, etc. will cost time. Your overall objective is to gather enough adventurer points to gather and rank up your adventurer license in a span of 3 years. There is another objective you have to achieve after those 3 years, but I won't say what it is in risk of a spoiler. In order to gain adventurer points, you need to complete quests, level up your adventure level up your alchemy level, explore, etc. And that's the overall structure in Atelier Totori. You're given a clear objective of what to do in 3 years' time, and in the additional 2 years. But you have the complete freedom on how to achieve that goal. and you can go exploring areas and find landmarks. You can also go around defeating powerful bosses. You can also improve your alchemy level, and etc. Atelier Totori is linear in story progression, but it's also very open-ended in how you achieve your overall objective. As a result, Atelier Totori doesn't feel as restrictive as Atelier Rorona, since you don't have a lifespan and a couple of months to complete assignments in order to progress the story, and I feel that it's an overall improvement. Now for a combat system. Atelier Totori uses a turn-based combat like its predecessor. You're able to recruit party members to help Totori on her adventurer's license since, well...
You're weaker than a squirrel?
As Setsi said, she's weaker than a squirrel. The combat system is very basic. You have your HP bar, MP bar, LP bar, turn order list, and assist and special attack bar. The HP and MP bar is pretty self-explanatory. LP bar is basically the fatigue bar of characters. If it's considerably low, the party members will receive penalties, such as having stats decrease. The Syst Bar is the long bar below the HP, MP, and LP bar. The top bar determines if your allies are able to do assist, whether they'll be able to do attack assist or defense. Though do note that each character have a special assist with Totori when you achieve certain conditions. The bottom bar determines if your allies can do specials, though you won't be able to learn them until your allies are in their level 30. Overall, Atelier Totori improves the combat system. It's also a bit more tougher than Atelier Rorona. Atelier Totori also put more emphasis on battles, set in terms of exploring different areas and defeating particularly strong enemies. But even so, the battle system isn't anything special. Aside the LP bar and assists, it's really simplistic. It doesn't really do anything to stand out on its own in other console RPGs. Now we get to the alchemy part of Atelier Totori, which is one area where it's very strong at. Like in Atelier Rorona, you can synthesize every item in Atelier Totori. For weapons, to potions, and materials, you're able to synthesize them. The synthesis system in Atelier Totori is very basic, also very intuitive and pretty addicting. When you gain recipes for an item, just combine the materials needed to make them and voila, item created. Take note that the material you use for your synthesis, the condition and properties of the material will be key in determining what starting traits your item will have, which you can view by the yellow bar in the synthesis screen. Like for example, if you use a high condition material, you might gain revive, though if you use a very poor material, you might only get like heal low. After the item is synthesized, you can put additional traits. The condition of the material used to synthesize the item will determine how many traits you can put in, while the traits of the reactant, which is the material you use to make it, will be transferred to the synthesis item, which will determine the type of traits that the item will receive. Overall, the alchemy system is easy to use, and it's pretty addicting as well. It also has a bit of depth to it, since the condition of the material will determine the starting traits that the synthesized item will have. And also, what kind of traits you put in an item will be key in determining how effective it's going to be. Difficulty wise, put it around normal. I mean, it's harder than Atelier Rorona, but not that hard. You might have to grind some levels in order to gain access to other areas, since you might get killed there. Oh wait, you can't get killed. Oh, I forgot to mention this. If you do lose a battle, you won't get a game over. You basically just return to the either Atelier Totori or Atelier Rorona, which is basically the workstation where you synthesize stuff, and you lose the amount of days it took to get to the area in the first place. Lengthwise, the game will take around 20 to 30 hours to complete, though there's tons of replay value, since there's a ton of different endings, especially character endings. Overall, Atelier Totori is a major improvement over Atelier Rorona. It's a great synthesis system which is very simple to understand, very addictive, but also has a bit of depth to it. The overall structure of Atelier Totori is a major improvement over its predecessor, and its lightheartedness, story, and characters make Atelier Totori a very enjoyable game. It improves almost everything on Atelier Rorona, but those elements won't be drawing in new players. I personally give this game an 8 out of 10. is a great game for its fans, but won't ultimately bring any new players in, thanks to its graphical style and its simple combat system.
This is still not enough.